Hi everyone, this is Spring, the fiber enthusiast. Welcome to my channel. So today's tutorial is going to be a crochet tutorial, and it's on these shells and posts. It's a lot of fun to do and fairly easy repeats. The multiples for this stitch pattern is 10 plus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 23 stitches. If you'll go ahead and do that, we will get started. For today's tutorial, I am using Crafty So Crafty double knit yarn in the color Cactus. All right, so we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook. And chain 23. Once you've chained 23, you're going to place a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So count back. I turn my chain on its side and I use the back bumps on the chain instead of going through the front side of the chain. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Place a double crochet in the 4th chain from your hook and 1 double crochet in the next chain. Then you're going to skip 2 chains. So 1, 2, and in the next you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now we're going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the next chain we're going to place a double crochet and place 1 double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches or 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and into the next we're going to work another shell stitch with 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Okay, now you're going to skip 1 and place 1 double crochet in each of the next chains. Two, and here we go. Okay. So that is your setup row. Very, very easy, lemon peasy. So now we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. Let's begin row 2. You want to front post the next 2 double crochets. So front post double crochet each of the next 2 stitches. And then you're going to put that same shell into the chain 2 space of the previous shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And now you're going to front post double crochet each of the next 5 double crochet stitches. Okay, and again, we're just repeating, putting a shell into the next shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all into that chain 2 space. And then you're going to front post double crochet the next 2 stitches after that shell. And double crochet to the top of that chain 3. That's it for row 2. Chain 3 and turn your work over. And we'll begin the next row. Row 3. We're going to back post double crochet the next 2 stitches. And if you need further instructions on how to front post and back post, in my Crocheting 101, there is tutorials on how to do so in a slower manner. So we're going to skip over to the chain 2 space and place a shell into a shell. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Now we're going to skip the next 2 double crochets of that shell and go to our 5 double crochets and front and back post double crochet them. So 5 back post double crochets. place a shell into the chain 2 space of the shell from the previous row. And back post double crochet the next 2 back post double crochets. So skip the next 2 of the shell and back post the next 2. Then you're going to double crochet to the top of that chain 3. Chain 3 and turn your work. Okay, so for the next 3 rounds, we're going to, or rows, we're going to do exact opposite of what we just did. So to set up for this row, we have our chain 3, we turned our work. We're going to place 2 more double crochets back in that same stitch. Just like that. Okay, so now to get our 5 double crochets, we are going to front post double crochet around the next 2 of this shell. So front post double crochet around the first 2 double crochets of that shell, and then double crochet into the chain 2 space. And then front post double crochet the next 2 double crochets of that shell. Okay, now we're going to place our shell into the top of the 3rd front post double crochet, which is the center double crochet. So 2 double crochets into the 3rd double crochet there. So place 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all into that same stitch. And that is the new placement for our shell. Okay, so now we're going to repeat what we just did here on the next shell. So front post double crochet the first 2 double crochets of that shell. Double crochet around the chain 2 space of that shell, and then 2 front post double crochets around the last double crochets of that shell. So you have 5 double crochets: front post double crochet, front post double crochet, double crochet, and then front post double crochet, front post double crochet. So we're back up to 5. And now we're going to reach over to the top of that chain 3 and place 3 double crochets into that. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3 and turn your work. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Go ahead and place 2 more double crochets back into that same stitch that you just chained 3 from. So 1 and 2. And now we're going to back post double crochet each of the next 5 stitches. So 1 back post double crochet around each of the next 5 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to place a shell into a shell. So into the chain 2 space of the previous shell, we're going to place a new shell. 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1 and 2, and 2 more double crochets. And now you'll skip those last 2 double crochets of that shell, and we're going to back post double crochet around each of the next 5 stitches. So 1 back post double crochet around each of the next 5 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to place 3 double crochets into the very top chain of that chain 3. Chain 3 and turn your work. 1, 2, 3. And this will be the last of the repeat rows. You just start back with your setup row. Row 1 down here is your setup row. You'll start back on it. But let's go ahead and finish this last row here. 3, place 2 more double crochets in the top of that same stitch you just chained 3 from. And then front post around each of the next 5 front post stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to do the shell into the chain 2 space of the previous shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2, and 2 more double crochets. And now we're going to place 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 5 front posts there. And now we're going to reach over to this chain and the very first chain 3 and place 3 double crochets into the top of that chain 3. And that will be the end of row 6, and you will just repeat those 6 rows. And what that'll do is alternate. Bring this one back over. So we started with our shells being 2 down here with 1 front post section in the middle, to the opposite, 2 front post sections with 1 set of shells. And then when we start the repeat, we go back to the 2 sets of shells and 1 set of front post in between, and again 2 sets of front post with a set of shells in between with this pattern. So until next time, everyone, be blessed and be a blessing. Bye for now.